Ethical dilemmas. The fat man in the trolley. Dilemma. What is it? A dilemma is a situation in which a difficult choice has to be made between two or more alternatives. The dilemma for my presentation is the fat man in the trolley. The fat man in the trolley is an ethical dilemma that describes a situation in which a trolley car is speeding down a track and it is headed straight towards five people. The choice is either to leave the situation alone and let the trolley kill the five people, or to push the fat man off the bridge above against his will so that he lands on the track, stopping the trolley and saving the five people, but killing the fat man in the process. Choice number 1. The first choice is to leave the situation alone and allow the trolley to kill the five people. This choice describes the rights approach. According to Manuel Velasquez in A Framework for Thinking Ethically, the rights approach best protects and respects the moral rights of those affected. The fat man on the bridge has his own right to live, and if he doesn't jump on his own will, then he should have the right not to jump. The corresponding choice would be to not push the fat man and to let the trolley kill the people because it is against the rights approach to take the fat man's life without his consent. Choice number 2. The second choice is to push the fat man off the bridge onto the tracks so that it stops the trolley and saves the five people. This choice describes the utilitarian approach. According to Manuel Velasquez in A Framework for Thinking Ethically, this approach tries both to increase the good done and to reduce the harm done. Sacrificing one man to save five people reduces the most harm possible because one person dead is better than five people. Best approach. The best approach to take would be to push the fat man onto the tracks to save the five people. According to the utilitarian approach, only killing one person is better than killing five people because it is producing the greatest balance of good over harm. Even though the fat man is directly killed, it is still saving four more lives. Conclusion. This conclusion is made by taking the emotional factor out of the situation. When it is made into a simple decision, one person dead or five people, it makes it much easier to decide on which action to follow through on. It is important to apply multiple ethical principles to a dilemma because when a dilemma is looked at, a lot of the time, people are blinded by a certain factor in the situation due to the emotions it brings up. When multiple ethical principles are applied, it helps draw out the emotional part so that the situation can be looked at in its true form. An example of this would be imagine that the five people on the track were all gang members and the fat man on the bridge was a priest. The decision is obviously to let the five people die, but when you don't know the people, the emotion is taken out. Therefore, the choice to have one person dead or five people dead, the decision is to push the fat man onto the tracks and save four more people. The end.
Created using Powtoon.